Hello and welcome. This is Jeff Hooks, and it is my privilege to welcome each of you to our Saturday VNI partner training. It is Saturday, September 21st. I can't believe it. We're 3 weeks into September, just getting ready to start the fourth week. And we are excited, and I'm excited to welcome you to this partner training. Hold one second. I'm going to start my screen share, and we've got a PowerPoint that we're going to be sharing. Hold one second. And I do want to remind our leaders that I really am not able to read text messages in the middle of this training. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. It would be, it's really just impossible. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just working here. All right, hold one second. All right, play from start. All right, so I thought about labeling this, calling this training, going director and beyond. I kind of played around with that idea for a little bit. What we ended up calling it, and for some reason it's not fit on the screen. I finished this with the marketing team yesterday at about 5:15, but using the VNI Life app to create growth. Okay, that's the title. But I want to give you the context. Everybody, let me look and see who's on live. Yeah, everyone, we've got some new partners, and then as always, we've got some of our top leaders and emerging leaders. And so, this training every Saturday, as I think all of you are aware, is designed to do one thing, and that's to help you grow personally and professionally. It's designed to equip and empower you as an authorized partner with VNI to reach your goals and dreams, whatever they are. And we focus on proven success principles, not theory, but proven success principles that will help you no matter where you are in your VNI journey with this wonderful company and with these amazing products and with this noble mission. We want to help you, equip you to go a step further. And it's a process. We always talk about it's about progress, not perfection. And so this, in the spirit of that, I've put together this training. But I want to make a distinction that this particular training is really specifically designed for any of our partners that want to go director and beyond. Okay, so the content, everyone's welcome. But if we have some wonderful partners, some men and women from all over the US and Canada who have a goal maybe of building a nice small customer base and creating a few $100s a month income, which is beautiful. That's a wonderful goal, and that's success. Success in our mind is helping you achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So for some of our partners, they just want to earn some thank you checks that offsets their product costs for themselves and their family. Maybe that's $200 or $300 or $400 a month, and that's wonderful. And again, that's successful if that's your vision. But you can do that with a small team or really just only a customer base. This training is specifically designed for those of you that want to go director and beyond, director, executive director. And I hope as I articulate this, even for our newest partners, that you're envisioning our recognition system. I hope that you're envisioning the PIN system and how that ties into your specific goals. So this is a training that's designed to equip you to go director and beyond, whatever your goals are. Director, executive director, okay, vice president, presidential director, envoy, ambassador, and beyond. And whatever your vision is. Now, obviously, this training is designed to equip you, but you got to do the work. And I think you know that. We talked about that in some of the recent trainings. The bigger the goal, the bigger the price to be paid, the bigger the sacrifice. And the nice thing about it is it's your vision. It's your goal. If you're building your VNI business to maybe your goal's executive director, maybe it's envoy, and you want to experience that envoy experience every year, the all expense paid trip with the founders and with yours truly and with the top leaders in the company. Maybe that's your vision. Well, that vision is going to require some more sacrifice than a partner whose goal is to go, executive manager and have their product paid for and maybe a couple $100s on top of that. So, hopefully that makes sense. That should be intuitive. But what we're going to talk about now is our key fundamentals. And as we go through this content, you'll see that we're pointing the principles that we're going to be teaching and talking about towards the VNI Life app, towards the platform that we all have access to, the VNI Life app. Hold on, is that showing on the screen? Looks like there's some glare. But anyway, your VNI Life app. There we go. It was loading. I hit the refresh. So this is the key. The VNI Life app is the platform that makes sharing and everything that we're going to be talking about so much easier and simpler and more organized. Okay, so let's go ahead and get through it. I hope you got a pen and paper ready. This is going to be posted. So there it is. I'm sorry. There's the marketing team PowerPoint where I had to push the button. All right, the VNI Life app, your key to growth. That's what today's training is about. And again, it's designed for those of you, which I think all of you, based on, you're still with me, either live or recording, your key to growth, how to go director and beyond, and how to leverage the app, the VNI Life app, to work smarter, not necessarily just harder, okay? All right, so the VNI Life app, your key to growth. Let's talk about some of the basic, the ground rules for putting yourself in a position to win with your VNI business. And we talk about these first 2 points every single week because they're that important. Number one, stay plugged in. Just like you're doing today. I can't emphasize enough, even if it's live, if it's via recording, stay plugged in. Stay plugged into the calls. Stay plugged into the Zoom events. Stay plugged into your upline success coaches, the trainings that they're doing. Stay plugged in with at least monthly coaching sessions with your upline director or above. That is so important. I hope you'll make a note of that. At least once a month, you should have a coaching session, preferably at the beginning of the month, with your director or above upline success coach. Okay, and in that situation, you'll talk about what your plans are for that particular month, what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, and the specific plan, the share activity that's going to be required to help make that progress that you've got planned for that month. So stay plugged into your upline success coaches. Stay plugged in. If you look at just this, as of this live recording, if you look at just the last week, the special events we've had since last Saturday's partner training that Ed and Gina Bender and Cynthia Sauer did with me. Oh no, it was Ed and Gina Bender. Cynthia Sauer was on the monthly corporate leadership call. But just think about what's happened in the last week. So Monday night, we had the official GARS Restoragen launch. Okay, so with a big Zoom presentation with our founder and CEO, Bill Downs, and our co-founder and head of research and development, Steve Kushner. New tool, new brochure. Oh, by the way, we're working on a new video short just for the GARS Restoragen, and that should be done in about the next 3 to 4 weeks. We're approving scripting right now. A lot of exciting things happening there. Then the day after that, Tuesday night, we had the monthly corporate leadership call with Ed and Gina Bender and Cynthia Sauer. Okay, so there you have our top leaders, ambassador leaders going crown ambassador Ed and Gina Bender, and then Cynthia Sauer, executive director, going vice president and beyond, teaching and training on leadership. Some amazing content. So if you missed it, go back into your back office and go back into the app, the VNI Life app, and listen to the replay. That's the importance of staying plugged in. Thursday night, we had our Thursday night product and business overview session. And we had Ken Nasmitz featured leading that, Executive Director Ken Nasmitz. And we had great participation there. That recording's available. So, stay plugged in. That's the important. Don't isolate. Don't ever be an island. There's a support team in place. There's a system that's designed to set you up for success and give you a track to run on. And that's so important. So stay plugged in. Don't allow yourself to isolate. Don't try to build this like the Lone Ranger, and you'll be on track. Now, number 2, do something positive every day to build and grow your business. Consistency is the key. And I'll make the point this way. A little bit every day is better than a lot one day with 5 days off, and then a lot one day and 6 days off. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is sustained through consistency. So I want you to remember that. Consistency is the key. So do something positive. It might be one share. It might be taking your VNI Life app and sharing a video with one person. It might be a follow-up from a video that you shared the night before. But do something positive, what I call an impact activity, something that's going to grow your business. That's either the invitation, it's the share, or it's the follow-up. Okay, do something positive every day. Now, in addition to that, this is so important, folks, and I'll tell you just from my own experience, one of the keys for me in business was recognizing the resources and the support that I had available, which is what we've already been talking about. That's the corporate resources, your marketing tools, your website, the VNI Life app, your leadership team, your upline success coaches. Recognize and appreciate all the resources that are available, but take responsibility for your business. Take responsibility. If it is to be, it's up to me. That's the mindset. And I'll share with you from my own experience, that's one of the challenges of this amazing model. You know, you've got the ability, you think about it, you've got the same products. Everybody has the same products. Everybody has the same compensation plan. Everybody has the same resources and tools. So if Ed and Gina Bender can go ambassador and create a tremendous recurring residual income, why can't you? And of course, the answer is you can. What one man or woman can do, another can do. No, there's no, everybody's got different giftings, but you've got the same opportunity. Our products work the same if you share the products than if Ed and Gina share the products, or Cynthia, or Michael Saletti, or Ken Nasmitz. Okay, you're Abner Fisher. The products work the same, or Stanley Schrock. The products work the same for anybody that shares them. The compensation plan is gender neutral, is height neutral, is follically neutral, whether you've got hair or used to have hair, or your forehead's a 5-head like mine. You know, it doesn't matter. It's equal opportunity. So everybody has the same opportunity. So what's the point? The point is, if others can do it, you can do it. So I hope you find encouragement there. And it might take you longer. It might take you a shorter period of time based on a lot of other variables. But take responsibility. I will tell you, I've never known anyone with VNI to go director and beyond that did not take responsibility for the business. Okay, so don't and I share that from personal experience. That's not always human nature left unchecked. Human nature oftentimes is to deflect and blame or make excuses. And I'm looking in the mirror when I say that. That's human nature. And what you want to do in your VNI journey, your success journey with Victory Nutrition International, is you want to stop that. You know, it's like Zig Ziglar used to say, give yourself a checkup from the neck up. Stop that type of thinking and take responsibility for your business. If it is to be, it's up to me. And if something's not working the way you want it to, focus on solution and how you're gonna get things going to the level that you want. Okay, so take responsibility. Authenticity. This is so important. As we learn from each other, take what you like, discard the rest, but incorporate it into your own personality. Cynthia Sauer and I were texting on some business discussions a couple of weeks ago, and she said she sent #real or #BeReal, and I thought that was great. That's what we want you to be. That's part of our brand mission, our brand identity with VNI, is to underpromise and overdeliver. What's inside, I mean, our packaging's great, but what's inside the bottle is better than what's outside the bottle. And so it's about being real. It's about being authentic. And that's what we want you to do, consistent with your personality. Our goal from a teaching, training, development standpoint with the leadership team and all the corporate resources is to help you be the best version of you. And that's so important. So be authentic, be real, be yourself. Next, commit to personal growth. These are all fundamental building blocks for your, pardon me, I've got my antivirus trying to hijack the meeting here. Hold on a second. Go away. All right. So commit to personal growth. You know, Jim Rohn used to say, if you want your business to grow, you've got to grow. If you want things to get better, you've got to get better. And that always inspired me. And so pay attention to the books you're reading, the audio programs you're listening to, and the people you associate with. Be around. Try to build your VNI team. At least find one person that you can run with that has a shared vision that's a positive influence. It's going to encourage your goals and nurture your goals. So if you want to, as you see there, if you want to go to the next level with your VNI business, if you want to go to the next level, you have to grow to the next level. And I've shared this months ago, but I want to tell you, because I just opened it back up. John Maxwell, Winning with People, is an amazing book for leadership skills that translates directly into the VNI business. Tools and tips for connecting with people, for relating with people, that will help you build your customer base and build your VNI team. So that's if you haven't read that, I'm sure it's paperback now, but you can get it on Amazon. I'm sure for probably not much more than $10, but it's a great read. It's a good read. And I'll tell you, this would be a great investment in terms of your personal growth strategy for the next 30 or 40 days. Buy this, dive into it, read it, reread it, highlight it, and that'll be a wonderful investment. So one of the keys is commit to personal growth, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day. There's tons of free content on YouTube. You could Google John Maxwell or Jim Rohn on YouTube and listen to tons of free content as part of your personal growth strategy. Number 6, leadership. One of the keys to leadership, as if you're brand new, as you set the sails for your VNI journey, is we must first learn to lead ourselves before we can lead others. And it's a process, and it's happening at the same time, but we've got to learn to lead ourselves. And that's one of the biggest challenges, for me is managing what's between my ears, managing my thoughts. And our thoughts create our attitudes. Attitudes are basically habits of thought. So if Jeff Hooks has a bad attitude today or every day, it's because my habits of thought are negative. And so leadership is about learning to lead ourselves. And as Jim Rohn used to say, leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. And what he's talking about in the context of that is we have to learn to lead ourselves. That's the one. I'm the one before I can effectively influence and lead and encourage others. Okay, so that's part of the leadership journey. So these are fundamental building blocks that will help you in your journey to go director and beyond with VNI. Each time, one more leadership tip, each time you connect with one of your customers or partners, and I'll go so far as to say prospective customers and partners as well, recognize that it's an opportunity to do 2 things. Number 1, to encourage. It's an opportunity to encourage, whether it's a customer, encouraging them on, hey, did you take your Protovite this morning? You taking it every day? What time are you taking it? You could forward them the short, if they haven't seen it, you could forward them, you could check in on, make sure they're see if they have any questions with the product. And then you could forward them the short Protovite video or maybe a link to maybe the product PDF. And just say, hey, listen, just want to reinforce that you're nourishing your body at a cellular level and you're doing great. Keep taking the product every day. Your body's going to thank you for it. So you can encourage as a partner, same thing, to celebrate the progress. It's encourage your partner for whatever their plan is for that, and their goal is for that month, and their activity plan for that day. Encourage, whether it's an email, a text, a phone call. It's an opportunity to encourage, and it's an opportunity to build belief. Build belief in what we're doing. Build belief in the VNI products. Build belief if you're talking with a partner that individual that you're talking with, that he or she can do it, that you can do this. Some days are going to be tougher than others, but I believe in you and you can do this. Okay, so look at that as an opportunity. That's one of the leadership. If you'll memorize that every time the phone rings, a text comes in, an email with a customer or partner, prospective customer, prospective partner, take a quick deep breath and remind yourself that this is an opportunity. This is be effective. Leadership's about being effective. It's about doing the right things, but it's about doing them effectively. And remind yourself, hey, this is an opportunity to encourage. It's an opportunity to build belief. Okay, vision questions. This is so important for all of us to never get too far away from this. What do you want out of your VNI business? Why are you engaging in this important mission? That's so important. Why are you engaging? What do you want out of it? And why are you engaging in this mission? You need to have clarity on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Don't be afraid at this stage and during your VNI journey. Don't be afraid to dream big dreams. We talk about that on some of the coaching and training, some of the leadership calls. I think as grown-ups, and probably everybody that knows me would debate that, but probably, at 54 years old, I'm starting to approach toddler level, but we as grown-ups, we've all been kicked in the teeth with life. We've had challenges, we've had valley experiences, we've had mountains and obstacles in front of us, we've had some wins, and we've had a lot of losses. And so I think it's natural, left unchecked, it's natural for grown-ups to start being more practical and not dreaming big dreams. Think about children. When you're a child, prayerfully blessed with a positive environment and a nurturing environment and physical needs being met. Children, their natural inclination is to dream big dreams. I want to be an astronaut. I want to fly. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's unbridled imagination. And I think it's something that we should capture. And I'm not saying be delusional and don't, don't keep your feet on the ground and understand reality. But from a vision perspective, I think sometimes we limit what we're capable of because our thinking is small. There's a wonderful book called The Magic of Thinking Big. It's a timeless classic. It's a great book if you haven't read it, by David Schwartz. But the Magic of Thinking Big. But dream big dreams, and for those of you, I'm a person of faith. For those of you that are, and I love what my pastor said this past Sunday. He said, don't tell don't tell God how big your mountains are. Tell your mountains how big your God is. And I thought that was so powerful. Dream big dreams, and don't be afraid to go for it. So that's an important. Think about what you want out of your business and why this is important to you. Where do you want to be in 5 years with VNI? What pen level do you want to be? How big of an organization? How many customers? How many partners? And how many countries around the world? Think about that. What kind of volume? What kind of group volume, wholesale volume do you want to have coming through your VNI business every single month in 5 years? Now let's break that down. What about 3 years? Same questions. And if you haven't taken time to do this, I would encourage you to get your VNI journal, your success journal, or digitally, however you do it, and memorialize this. Get some clarity to it. Again, if you're a person of faith, pray on it. Think about it. Meditate about it. Where do I want to be? God, what's your plan for me? What's your plan with VNI? What about 1 year? So you're going 5 years and then you're breaking it back down. 1 year. And then the end of the month. Where do you want to be the end of the month with your VNI business? We've got a little bit less than 10, let's call it a week and a half to finish out September strong. How do you want your month to end? And have you broken the zero? We talk about breaking the zero. Breaking the zero is every single partner adding at least one customer or one partner at a minimum to their business on a monthly basis, meaning they've placed a first-time product order and they set up their subscription. Both of those are important, or it doesn't count. Breaking the zero means you've added either a new customer or a new partner with a first-time product order and they set up their subscription. Okay? Everybody on this event, everybody plugged in listening to the replay, even if you have not broken the zero in September, you can break the zero. You've got the VNI Life app tool. You got the VNI Life app. You can get out there and share and care with 5 or 10 people over the next few days, next 3, 4, 5 days, and follow up and break the zero for September. Everybody can do that. Remember, the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Okay. Now, this training, I'm covering a lot of information. So this is something, the beautiful thing about us recording this is I encourage you to go back through this multiple times, because as you go through your VNI success journey, as you build your business, as you rank advance and have a larger team, some of what we're talking about is going to resonate, you know, and so again, if you're fairly new, relax, absorb the information. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Don't, you know, just absorb what you can and go through this. Repetition is one of the keys to learning. So you can watch this over and over and take notes. You can fast forward and go to one section and just use this as a resource to grow your business. Now, here's the key. Also, I'm gonna back up. When you ask yourself these types of vision, dream questions, where am I? Where am I going? You also want to say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to go crown ambassador, or I want to go ambassador, I want to go envoy in 5 years, whatever the vision is, whatever the goal is. I want to go, and then you break it down. You say, all right, in the next year, I want to go executive director, you know, in the next 12 months, which is doable for every single person on this training, or and some will do more. Now, the key is you say, what am I willing to do to make my dreams a reality? That's an important aspect that last night I thought about, that I didn't have time to go back and add this, but what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up in order to reach that dream? Okay. Are you willing to give up some TV time? Are you willing to give up some entertainment time? Are you willing to give up some sleep time to do a little bit every day to make your dreams a reality? And you got to make sure, if your vision and your goal is big, your dream is big, but your commitment is small, get with your upline success coach or get with me, and let's help. Let's make sure we've got this more in alignment. We don't want anybody to be delusional. The bigger the dream, the bigger the sacrifice and the commitment. And the key is, it's up to you, but we don't want anybody kidding themselves. If their goal is, I want to go ambassador in 18 months from scratch, and I'm willing to put an hour a week into the business, I'm going to tell you, you're kidding yourself, and that's not good. You know, let's back. We got to either raise the commitment or back up the goal and give yourself more time and be willing to make some sacrifices. So when you talk about your dreams, write them down, get some clarity on them, and then ask yourself, what am I willing to do in order to make those a reality? What's the commitment level? What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to give up for at least for a season? You know, Jim Rohn says, I know I quote him a lot. Jim says, some people won't give up a day at the beach in order to one day own the beach. You know, so there's some delayed gratification if you've got a big vision. Pay now, play later if you've got a big vision. So the key is and again, get with your upline success coach, directors or above, and or get with me. You can bring me in. I promise you, some of you take me up on this, but I would love to have strategy sessions with you and your leadership team, individually or as a team. We can do a Zoom, or we can use a conference bridge to help your team, help mobilize your team in some of these concepts. Then finally, ask yourself, you've got the dream, the vision, where you want to go and why. You've identified a commitment level that's gonna be in alignment with what you want to achieve. And then the last question is, what's holding you back? Knowing yourself, knowing your history, knowing your tendencies, knowing the reality of your current life and other priorities, what could hold you back? And what could prevent you from making the progress that you've laid out for yourself? And then you figure out, you identify those. Just, you know, don't tiptoe like they say the elephant in the living room. Don't tiptoe around it. Put it out on the table and do it with your upline success coach. And then say, all right, let's put a plan in place to make sure that this, whatever this is, doesn't hold me back. And then you're off and running. I'm telling you, if you'll take some time on some of what we're just talking about right here, and if you're an existing leader or emerging leader, go back and do this again, you know, because, you know, as our business grows, the dynamics change. So go back and do this. And it gives you a good solid foundation to build on, whether you're a brand new partner, a brand new associate manager, or whether you're ambassador going crown. Okay. These are very important questions you want to have clarity on. Now, the how of achieving your vision and dream with VNI is all about your share activity, folks. Okay. This is so important. Never, ever, ever kid yourself. At the end of the day, how many new people have I shared the VNI products with and the VNI business with over the last day, the last week, the last month? That's where your growth comes from. Staying at point of share. That is at the end of the day, that's what you want to focus on. Here's the exciting thing. This is a controllable, y'all. This is a controllable. In other words, you can control your share activity by your own efforts. You could go out with the VNI Life app when we finish this training. You could go out and you could share with 20 people today if you wanted to. If you had that burn in your belly, if your desire was big enough and your commitment was strong enough, you could do that. And you look at the shares. I mentioned this on a couple of our recent events. You look at the share activity from Gina and Ed Bender and from Cynthia Sauer and others, but they're 1, 2, and 3. I mean, they're really 1 and 2 because Gina and Ed are a team, but their share activity is off the charts. They've got a big dream and they've got a commitment that matches that dream, but you can do the same thing. Every single one of you can. So just recognize, we all as human beings, we can kid ourselves. And, I'm working so hard. I'm working so hard. Folks, at the end of the day, if you're not involved in the sharing of the products and who we are, the sharing activity, then you're kind of reshuffling the same deck of cards. You're not going to, a lot of people get a business to a certain point, and then they try to manage the business to growth. And you got to look, don't spend all your time looking at your existing business. Look out at the billions of people on this planet that have never heard of VNI. That's where your growth comes from. And the bridge that creates that growth is share activity. That's the share activity. And you're in control of that. So I want to point you, if you haven't seen this, this is in your back office under learning resources. It's also part of the content that's on your VNI Life app. But over the summer, we did a 3-part series on how to share. And invest over the next week, depending on your time commitment, next week or 2, invest 3 hours total in going each one of those trainings. Each one, part 1, part 2, part 3 is an hour. Part 1, we talk about who do you share with, how to never run out of people to talk to. Part 2, we talk about how to share. And then part 3, we talk about the follow-up. So I want to make sure those resources are there. Now, sharing activity, once again, is impact activity. That's what we're talking about. Impact activity these are activities, the 2 or 3 things that will absolutely create the results that will take you closer to your goals. So sharing activity is impact activity. You want to be intentional with your sharing. Share with a purpose. Now, here's what's interesting. Because of the VNI Life app, and this is a good problem to have. It's a good situation. It's so easy to share that you got to be careful to share with a purpose and be intentional. Meaning, I'll use a darts, think about darts. If you're throwing darts, I used to play darts all the time in college and in my 20s, and good game. Think about if you've got the dartboard in front of you, you're 8 feet away, you're at the right distance, and think about you've got your darts in your hand, and you're just spinning around wildly throwing darts. You're just spinning around wildly throwing darts every direction. What are the chances of you hitting the board, let alone hitting the target and the bullseye? And of course, the answer is the chances are very, very slim unless you're going to throw 100 darts or 500 darts. You might hit the board eventually because you're kind of randomly spraying, throwing the darts everywhere. As compared to lining up, turning sideways, depending on your style, only bend at the elbow, and facing your target and releasing the dart properly. Compare think about the difference between those 2 examples. And now think about sharing VNI. if you're randomly just sharing a bunch of content, you're not making phone calls beforehand, you're not following up, you're just pushing out text messages and emails, and you're just throwing them out all over the place, eventually you're going to hit the dartboard. But you're not going to be as effective as if you're intentional, as if you're focused and you're sharing with a purpose. So keep that in mind. Think about that as it's never been easier to share because of the VNI Life app. But you want to be intentional with your sharing. You want to share with a purpose. Now, remember, it's a sorting process, not a convincing process. Okay, we're said differently. We're looking for people who are looking for better health physically or better health financially. So I love what Ed and Gina Bender say consistently in their leadership trainings. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So it's all about timing. So you're the messenger, and it's about sharing. It's about sharing some information. It's not about selling. It's about sharing. And we've got good seed, folks. We've got the best seed in the world. And all we got to do is put the seed out, and it's going to land on fertile soil. It's going to. But just recognizing, if you're brand new, that takes the pressure off. If you recognize that, hey, it's a sorting process. I'm looking for people I can help. It's all about contribution. It's all about service. So we're looking for people who are looking. We're looking for people who want more out of life. Okay? We're looking for people that have needs or desires. We're sorting, and we're looking for people that have a need or desire that we can help. That's so important. We're looking at how can we help someone with their needs or their desires. They want to live a more physically vital life. They want to have more energy. They want to nourish their body. They want to live longer. They want to create a side gig and create, $1,000 a month part-time from home without jeopardizing their job, so they can pay off some debt, maybe pay off some credit card debt. Folks, the world is in bondage with debt. Consumer debt is continuing to go through the roof. Educational debt, school debt, it's a big deal. So if you can show somebody not just how to nourish their body physically, but how to improve and help them with their financial health, not just their physical health, but their financial health, so that they can maybe create just a side cash flow, $500 a month, $1,000 a month that they can use to take some pressure off. Okay, so we're sorting, and we're looking for people that have a need or a desire that we can help. And then finally, say less to more people. If I'm going to ask you how many, this is a very good coaching question. And for our leaders, all of this, for your directors and above, everything that we're going through, I want you to go through this training multiple times, because you're going to need to be able to teach your team on a one-to-one basis how to. I'm just looking at achieving. That looks funny with a lowercase a. The how of achieving your vision and dream. That's supposed to be capitalized. All right. So think about this. This information, you need to be able to teach and train your team. And if you might say, well, Jeff, I'm not there yet. This is so much. That's okay. That's why repetition. Take a little leadership development time every week, maybe 30 minutes a week, either early in the morning, late at night, on the weekends, whenever you want. And go through this training yourself and start to teach and train your team, because we want to equip you as leaders to develop leaders. And so it's all about, learn the information. Repetition will help. Apply the information, and you're going to have results, positive results, and then teach others in your group to do the same. Learn, apply, teach. Learn, apply, teach. We never really master anything until we've taught it. It's pretty interesting how that works. And we've got some martial artists in the VNI family, and you know that. You never learn, apply, teach. You never really master something until you teach somebody else. And that's true in every area of life. So say less to more people means ask yourself this question. How many new people did I share VNI with in the last 7 days? And be honest with yourself. We don't want you to take a rubber hammer and hit yourself over the head, or a stuffed animal hammer and hit yourself over the head. But it's a good coaching question. How many new people did I share VNI with in the last week? That doesn't mean recycling the same one person or circling the same one or two people that you've been talking with for the last 4 months. I've done that in my career. I've tried to make a career out of talking with 3 or 4 people. Folks, you can't go director by talking to 1 or 2 people. You can't go envoy by talking to 4 or 5 people. You got to up your share activity. No business would succeed if they only opened the doors for 1 or 2 prospective customers and then they locked it behind them. Our business is no different. So say less to more people. Make sure you're holding yourself accountable. Think about your dream. Think about your vision. Think about where you want to go. And then ask yourself, how many people am I sharing with? Now, the pattern of activity is invite, share, follow up. Invite people to learn about VNI, the VNI products, share the information, and follow up. That's so important. Now let's talk about that. What are the sharing tools and resources that we have? I'm gonna go through these quick so you can write them down, and then we'll talk about them. All right, you've got the VNI Life app. That's the ultimate platform where all of our assets are there that you can share with your smartphone or tablet, okay? We've got videos that you can share through the VNI Life app. Videos that share the information on the products, on who we are, on our business model. We've got Zoom presentations, both live and recorded. We've got product brochures. We do conference calls. We've got recorded calls. We've got a marketing website. We do launch events. And I want to see more of this, folks. I'm telling you, if you sponsor me and I'm a brand new partner on your team, do a launch event. It could be in person where I get 3 or 4 people in my living room, or we meet at a coffee shop. Or it could be Zoom. It could be either in person or via Zoom or a conference call. And we do a launch event where instead of sharing VNI with 1 person at a time, you get 5 or 6 or 7 or 3 or 10 or 20 together and share VNI at once. And I do that. I'm helping more and more partners with launch events. I want you, for those of you that are directors and above, if you're not doing launch events, why? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you create some urgency and help that new partner get off to a great start by inviting 3 or 4 people together, 5 or 6 people together, and sharing VNI with multiple people? They could be more focused on health and wellness, or they could be on an entrepreneurial group that might have more of an interest in the business, or you could mix the two. It's your choice. And so if you want to brainstorm on this more, how to use launch events to grow faster, we're going to do a future training specifically on this. Then reach out to me next week. We'll talk about it. But we've got launch events. That's a way to share. Special events like coming up this coming Tuesday night. Ed and Gina Bender are our hosts for our VNI Vision Tour event. Okay. You've got Upline Success Coach that's available for individual meetings or 3-way calls. Okay. Actually, I'm going to keep that like that. Now, here's the key. We talked about this last week. Sharing is a process. So you want to move people to a good yes or a good no. So look at all the resources that you have that takes the pressure off of you trying to talk people into the product. We've got tools that share the information, and you are the tour guide. And guess what? It's all consolidated right here on your VNI Life app. So it's very simple, very easy to share, and you can track all your sharing activity. But here's the key, less is more. Now, what do I mean by that? Don't overload an individual with too much information. If you're torn between sharing the 5-minute product and science video, but you want to share a couple of the PDFs, just share the video first. And then follow up and say, hey, the next step is, and then share another resource. Okay, so don't overload people. When people are overloaded, they won't watch the information. They won't look at it because they're overloaded. They're like, I don't have time for this. Keep it real simple. Remember, less is more. Less is more effective. Okay? Now, increasing your share effectiveness, how to share better. How to share better. Recognize that just sharing VNI is going to create results. Okay, it's like that dart analogy. If you're spinning around sharing, you're eventually, at some point, you're going to hit the dartboard. And then eventually you might hit the bullseye. But sharing effectively will create better results. Now, sharing, once again, I'm saying the same thing differently. When you share the VNI products, when you share the videos, when you use the VNI Life app, you're going to bring on new customers and new partners. Remember, the goal, share with intent, share with a purpose, is to have a new customer or new partner place a first-time order, product order, and set up their subscription. Don't miss either one of those. The value proposition of the subscription: convenience, control, and save money through the opportunity with the subscription rewards program. Okay, so sharing is going to create results, but when you share combined with understanding the needs and or desires of the person you're sharing with, and you marry the two, sharing VNI, but you're sharing it from a perspective of what's in it for the person you're sharing with. How VNI, how our products, how our business model can help them get what they want out of life. That's the key. That's where you start to get from beginner to start to get into a leadership perspective, kind of the art of what we do with VNI. Sharing combined with understanding the needs and the desires of the person you're sharing with equals more new customers and new partners. Okay? So that's what I mean by sharing will create results, but sharing effectively will create better results. Does that make sense? Now, here's the tip. This is advanced. Now we're getting into executive director and beyond kind of stuff that every one of you can master with a little bit of practice. Learn, apply, teach. Sharing, and then sharing with the understanding of needs and desires like we just talked about, plus sharing your own story and your belief and your experience with the VNI products equals even more new customers and new partners from your sharing activity. Okay? So sharing creates results. Sharing combined with understanding the needs and desires creates better results. And then third, sharing and understanding needs and desires, plus in the process, in the discussion, in the dialogue, sharing your own story with the products, your own belief, your own results with the products will absolutely increase your effectiveness. So that's how you share better. And it's a process, so give yourself a break. Go back through this information. If you want to talk about it, call your upline success coach or call me next week, okay? And we'll talk about it. This is good stuff. Now, combine this with timely and effective follow-up, and that's the secret sauce, folks. If you do the invite, the share, and the follow-up, and your follow-up is timely and effective, you're going to just rinse and repeat. Keep doing the pattern of activity. So the fortune's in the follow-up. Influence versus being pushy. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I want to try to keep this close to noon. We might be about 12:05. The influence versus pushy. When you follow up, don't be anxious. Recognize that you're trying to help the person that you're sharing with. We're doing something. Write this down. You're doing something for them, not to them. So recognize the difference between influencing them through encouragement, something that's in their best interest. That's our mission. That's our mission. Assisting people in becoming beacons of health, hope, and abundance. So influencing them to engage with the product. I personally know, unless there's a rare allergy for one of our botanicals, every single person on the planet would be blessed with our products. Every single person. I know it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know people would benefit. So I have no problem influencing and encouraging people to take these products because my belief is through the sky. And I think yours is too, or it will be. So influence them versus being pushy. Pushy is when you're being transactional. So patient, influence them, be patient. Don't be impatient. We get impatient when we're focused on ourselves instead of putting the focus on service and contribution with helping them, the person that you're sharing with. Confident versus panicked or needy. You want to, when you're following up, you want to influence them, you want to be patient, and you want to be confident. Here's the reality, and this is a respectful reality. You don't need any one person to be successful with VNI. You don't need any one individual to reach your goals and dreams with VNI. Now, we care about people. We want to help people, but be confident. Have a little bit of posture, not arrogance, but posture. You don't, when people think about it, when people are needy or they're panicked, what do we do? It's human nature. What do? We pull back. We pull back. But if they're confident, if they're patient, if they're poised, then we kind of lean into them a little bit, all else being equal. So keep these tips in mind. Positive expectancy. Have a high level of belief. When Mike Dannenberg recommends Protovite, make no mistake, he knows it's in their best interest. He knows it's going to help them. And he absolutely believes they're going to order the product because his confidence in VNI and our mission and our products is so high. I just had a conversation with Heather, his wife, a strategy session yesterday. When Mike Dannenberg, there's nobody in the company that's brought in as many customers as Mike has in the last 5 months, Mike and Heather. So positive expectancy, his belief level's high. Versus negative expectancy. Yeah, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. It's kind of expensive. Think about that. It's not so much what we say, it's how we feel about what we say. That belief comes through. So the fortunes in the follow-up: influence, patient, confident with positive expectancy, high belief. Relational versus transactional. All these are tied together. Be relational. If somebody says, if they're not placing an order right now, back off, honor the relationship and say, hey, listen, I've got some more information I share. I want you to understand why these products are gonna help you so much. Why these nutrition that gets in is something that's so extraordinarily unique in the marketplace versus transactional. I got to get the sale. I got to get the sale. And I know I use some funny faces. I have more, but I'll bless you by not showing you the funny faces. All right. So hope that helps. In your follow-up, be timely. Okay. Follow up when you share within 24 to 48 hours max. You got to be timely in your follow-up. And then these additional tips should help you. The next step is, that's a bridge phrase, folks, that will absolutely help you. The next step is, so when you've shared the first video and you follow up, and sometimes they're going to place an order right there with positive expectancy. Believe. Sometimes all we need to do is say, okay, the next step is, let's get your product ordered and let's get your subscription set up. And you move. That's what Gina Bender does. Ed talks about all the time. She's the master at, hey, the next step is, let's go ahead and get your order placed. And let's get you enjoying these products. Let's get you experiencing the benefits of these products. But the next step is, that's a phrase I want you to memorize. The next step is, I've got another video I'm going to share you. The next step is, let's go ahead and get you on the product and get your subscription set up. Okay, you can always try that. And if they object, you can say, wait, okay, listen, what is it we need? The next step is, I'm going to forward you a PDF. The next step is, I want to do a 3-way call and introduce you to one of my coaches that can help answer some of your questions. The next step is, whatever it is, you're leading them through the process, the sharing activity, the sharing process. Invite, share, follow up. The next step is, okay, now the 5 most common pitfalls that undermines your sharing activity. Okay, 5 most common pitfalls. Number 1, you're just not sharing with enough people. And I'm going to have to go through these a little bit quicker. And we'll come back. We'll go deeper in these. But number 1, you're just not sharing with enough people. We've talked about that. Number 2, there's no belief when you're sharing. Number 3, you're talking too much. That comes from a lack of confidence. Okay? So focus on asking more questions and listening as opposed to pushing with comments. When you're talking, when I'm talking, I'm not learning where somebody's coming from. I'm not really learning anything because I already know what I know. And I'm just emptying what I know out. And sometimes that's what you need. You do need to talk. But you also want to connect with where that individual that you're sharing with, where they are. And the only way to do that is to not talk, is to listen. Okay, 5 most common pitfalls that undermine your sharing activity. No follow-up. Folks, this is done a lot. I'm telling you, this is done a lot. and I know because I've done it. You go to the effort of sharing VNI. Use the VNI Life app. You use it perfectly. You share it with a purpose. You're intentional. You're focusing on needs and desires. You've shared your story. And then you don't follow up. You get distracted. And what happens is you're putting good seed out there, but you're letting the seed wither and die and dry up and blow away. You're letting the seed get eaten by the birds. You're letting the seed get washed away in a rain. And it doesn't have a chance to grow roots and to sprout. Okay, so make sure you follow up like we've been talking about. And then finally, no consistency. So those are the 5, and here's the beauty. These are easily addressed. In fact, everything we've talked about so far has addressed proactively how to avoid these 5 most common pitfalls. So pay attention. Now, for those of you that are leaders, and all of you are leaders or leaders in training, and I'll say specifically directors and above, pay attention to these 5 pitfalls when you're coaching and leading your team, and help with everything we've been sharing, lead your team through that. Now, the art of building to upcoming events. I want to talk just a few minutes about this. This is something we're going to go deeper on. When you've got an event like the VNI Vision Tour event, have clarity. We talked about this actually Tuesday night in the monthly corporate leadership call. And then I got some really good questions coming off of it. Have clarity on the purpose of our business building events. Now, I'm not talking a training event. I'm talking a business building event. This could be a launch event. This could be the Vision Tour event coming up, Charlotte Tuesday night, then Front Royal after that, and then in the DC area after that. So the art of building to upcoming events. First, have clarity on the purpose of our events. Number 1, it's all about new business. That's the number 1 priority. If you as a partner plug into one of these events and you don't have a guest, you've missed the main point. You've missed the main point. You're going to benefit, and we want you to come, but you're not leveraging the event in a way that's going to grow your business. So the purpose is new business. That's new customers, new partners placing first-time orders and setting up their subscription. The second purpose of the event, and it's a distant second, is building belief in existing customers or partners, or reselling existing customers and partners. And it's usually partners. Customers very rarely come to an event. So it builds belief in the partner team that you have there from your business. And number 3, leadership development. The people that are participating in the event, that helped, find the venue, negotiate with the contract with the help of the company, if it's a special event like the Vision Tour, the leading of the event, registration, setting up the tables, sharing your testimonial, maybe connecting with people, maybe participating in the event somehow, depending on where you are in your pin level. All of this builds leadership within the team. So events develop leadership and develop leaders. So these are the 3 purposes of the events. So you have to make sure that your activity and your focus is recognizing that the number 1 priority is new business. Therefore, you and your team need to have guests there. If you don't have guests there, you're not working smart. You're leaving opportunity on the table. Now, once you've done that, the more partners you have from your own team at the event, number 2 is going to help that. The event is going to build belief from your partner team, and they're going to come out of that event on fire in a good way. And then number 3, it's leadership development. So it's a process. So these are the 3 focal points. Now, how to invite and promote to an event. And I'm going to zip through this because this is, and we'll come back to this. I might even come back to this. Might even have Ed and Gina train on some of this next week. I think that's a good goal if they're available. So how to invite and promote to an event. First, set a goal. How many guests do you want to have at the event? Separately, how many partners on your team do you want to have at the event? Remember, those are 2 separate questions that are going to take 2 separate activities to make happen. Guests are number 1, partners are number 2. Okay, in terms of priority, they're both important. But again, based on what we just talked about, having guests is the number 1 priority. Having your partners have their own guests is a priority as well. Now, expect a 50% no-show ratio, folks. Plan on it. It's built into the reality of your activity. Don't be surprised. I invited 2 people. They committed. They said they were going to be here and they're not here. Yes, we know that. If you want to have 10 guests, you got to have 20 commitments. If you want to have 5 guests, you need to have 10 commitments. If you want to have 2 guests, you need to have 4 firm commitments. And if somebody says, I'll try to be there, that doesn't count. So there's no way to sugarcoat this, folks. This is where you just got to do the work. You got to do the activity. If you want guests, if you want to grow your business and you want guests at the event, you got to engage in the invitation activity. Okay? Nobody can do that for you. Now, here's some tips on language. I've found that it's more effective to not use the word meeting. Hey, I want to invite you to a meeting in Charlotte Tuesday night at 7. When you use the word meeting, most people don't like meetings. Most people, when you use the word meeting, some of them are thinking of their day job and they're thinking of boring. And a lot of companies have too many meetings where nothing's getting done. So I found personally that meeting's not the best word. Use the word event, briefing, overview, information session, or symposium. I love when you're dealing with a professional, when you're dealing with a healthcare professional, perhaps, symposium is a word that denotes education, value. But any of these that are comfortable, I actually use all of these interchangeably depending on who I'm talking to. Hey, listen, we've got a special event Tuesday night, and it's an information session where our founder and CEO is going to be there explaining the VNI products. And our president and COO is going to be there talking a bit about the business model and who we are and where we're going. Would love to reserve a seat for you. So you see how that works, that language. So just give some thought to that. Establish value. Focus on what's in it for them. Again, needs and desires. I call this the give your seat away strategy. And I talked about this briefly Tuesday night. Once you get a commitment, I want you to say, so if I'm inviting, Ken Nasmith, I say, hey, listen, Ken, do me a favor. This is a special event with our founder and CEO coming in, and a lot of executives, and Ed and Gina Bender, our number 1 partners in the whole world of VNI, are going to be there. It's a special event, so I'm going to reserve a seat for you, and invite their spouse too, by the way. And do me a favor, if something comes up, give me a text or a call, and I'll give your seat away. Okay, what that does, that puts value on the seat. It's a kind of a tie down to the commitment for them coming. Okay. And remember, in the invitation process, when you're promoting towards an event, it's not so much what you say, although that's important, but it's more important about how you feel about what you say. That's where that belief level comes through. Okay. Enthusiasm. The IASM stands for I am sold myself. Belief and conviction in the VNI mission and the important contribution and value that you're delivering in terms of helping other people. That will come through in your invitation. And that's something, just be mindful of it. And it's something that you'll get better at. It's something, the more you plug into events, the stronger your belief, the stronger your conviction. And it's natural to be enthusiastic. Okay. Now, remember, we talked at the very beginning, we talked about authenticity. So enthusiasm, consistent with your own personality. If you're an introvert, don't feel like you have to try to hype. Just, when you're excited about something, just be excited. It's genuine. It's authentic. It's not manufactured. Okay. Now, announcing events. This is so important, folks. And you know what? I've gotten the green light from y'all. I'm going to go a little bit longer, because I've got I think 2 or 3 more slides. But here's what's important. There's a difference between announcing an upcoming event and promoting to an upcoming event. Okay, announcing is tactical. Announcing is you just blast out an email or you blast out a text and you say, okay, I've promoted the event. No, with 500 more no's following it. That's okay. But the way to promote to an event is different. And that's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. Now, I'll give you an idea. So for example, if you're talking about the Front Royal event coming up in October. All right. The mistake a lot of people make is they start announcing the event 3 weeks before. And they're starting to invite people to the event. So they're basically procrastinating the growth of their business, thinking that they're promoting to the event. Now, stay with me on this. Leaders, stay with me. What you want to do is engage in the sharing activity. Invite, share, follow up, point them to the event. Invite, share, follow up, point them to the event. Invite, share, follow up, point them to the event. You see the difference? Instead of just inviting to the event, take them through the process. If you'll go ahead and invite, share, follow up, you're going to have new customers and new partners coming on board over the next 2-3 weeks. And then you point them to the event. And as you're going through the sharing activity process, okay, the pattern of activity, you point them to the event. Invite, share, follow up, point them to the event. Invite, share, follow up, point them to the event. What happens is the difference between 1 and 2, if you just invite them to the event, that's how you can have 5 or 10 people there. If you invite, share, follow up, point them to the event, that's how you can have 30 or 40 people there. That's the difference. That's the secret. That's the leadership secret. Because what will happen is you'll invite, share, follow up, and you'll have some new customers placing product orders and a subscription, and you'll also have some new partners. What do you do with the partners? Do a launch event with the partners and have them invite, share, follow up, point to the event. So now it's not just you inviting to the event. You have a new partner that's excited, that's going to leverage that event to grow his or her business and customer base and exposure. And so now all of a sudden you replicate that and you've got 2 or 3 partners that are pointing to the same event, and everybody has 3 or 4 guests. That's how you build a market. So announcing is okay, but promoting effectively it's the difference between telling and influencing. So this is in conclusion. I hope this has been helpful. I've gotten some good feedback from y'all. Top VNI priorities. I mentioned this about a month and a half ago. These are from now to the end of the year. These are at a company level. These are our top strategic priorities. Okay, there's a lot of, day to day, we're always taking care of our customers, and but in terms of top strategic focuses, we want, and I encourage you to consider these top priorities in the context of your VNI business and your own goals, which we've already talked about. Number 1, we want to increase the share activity. That's why we invested so heavily in the VNI Life app, in your VNI Life app, folks. It's your app. It's for you. It's for you to equip you and help you increase your share activity for you and your team. Okay, so that's number 1, because we know we want the more people, let's face it, folks, the more people that learn about the VNI products, the more people are going to engage as customers and partners. Okay, so that's it. So increase the share activity. In so doing, that's going to lead us. Number 1 is going to create number 2. Increase active subscriptions. Folks, the subscriptions, your number of active subscriptions is the biggest asset for your VNI business. I'm going to say that again. The number of active subscriptions, whether you're an associate manager or whether you're a Crown ambassador or anywhere in between, that's your number 1 asset. These are customers and partners that are really engaged with our amazing products. So our goal is to, number 1, increase the share activity. And by doing that, number 1 leads to number 2. We're going to increase the active subscriptions across the whole company. We want to do that we want you to do that, and we want to help you do that for your business as well. That's what this training is all about. And then finally, number 3, in order to reach our growth objectives of impacting this world with these amazing products and our unprecedented scientific validation, we need to attract, and we will attract and develop influencers to expand our reach. As we're adding customers every single day. We're adding partners too. But we want to focus on attracting and developing influencers, new partners that will expand our reach. And I want to encourage you to consider the same. So these are our top 3 strategic priorities for the company. I think it's in alignment. It's in alignment definitely with all of you that want to grow. And if you didn't want to grow, you wouldn't be still plugged in. So I encourage you to incorporate these priorities into your own plan and your own vision with VNI. And you'll see everything that we're doing and everything candidly that we've been doing. Just so you know, these priorities have been in place this whole year. If you look at everything we've done with the customer model, the customer acquisition model, with the compensation plan enhancements, with the new videos, with the new VNI Life app, with everything we're doing is designed to positively impact these three objectives. Okay? Folks, we've covered a lot. We've covered a whole lot. I appreciate you. I'm excited for where we are in the history of VNI, and our future is bright, y'all. So let's go and grow. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. And this is my closing. Whoops. There, I want to give you that. Just remember what we're doing matters. What we're doing is focusing on contribution. That's the culture. That's who we are. We focus on giving before getting. We focus on serving our customers. We focus on serving, leading, coaching, and supporting our partners. That's the VNI culture. And so everything that we've talked about in terms of building a business to director and beyond is resting on a foundation of contribution. And that's who we are. So thank you so much. God bless. Have an awesome night. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. And I've got a couple of calls I'm working through the afternoon. So have a wonderful day, and we will talk soon. God bless. Bye-bye.